What's your name?
Ladan Takow, and it means blessed. I don't know what I'm blessed with yet, but it means blessed. Overall, I'm blessed. You know the song, I am blessed. It's like that, yeah.
How would you describe yourself?
I would say happy, optimistic, and go-getter, energetic, enthusiastic for no reason. Like I just wake up and I'm like, hey. So yeah, definitely enthusiastic, a lot of energy, that kind of stuff.
You grew up in Mogadishu, lived in Ethiopia for a bit, and grew up in the UK. What was the language barrier?
I have to say, it was not easy. It was one of those things where you're just constantly learning. You know, we had to adapt the whole Ethiopian culture. Like we spoke Amharic, my brother and I, and then we got comfortable. We're like, yes, we can speak the language, we can speak to the locals. And then we moved to the UK and it was like, oh my God, you guys have to go to school. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, you want me to speak English now? Like, no, it's not gonna work. But my grandmother was really smart and she used to take us to school in Ethiopia where we were learning English. So when I came to the UK, it wasn't like a massive cultural shock. It was okay. I think language transition was the most interesting one.
Tell us more about your secondary school experience.
I think for me, it was fun. I've enjoyed it so much. And I think now that I'm older, it all makes sense because I was more of a standing up for everybody. I was organizing little groups. I was involved in everyone's conversation. I'm like, hey, what's happening? Like, you know, I'll go to the ones who do the homework and I'm like, hey, hook me up with the homework. And I'll go to the popular ones, I'll be like, vote for me because I'm about to be the head girl. So I was part of everyone and I was quite open and mainly just helping people as well. So if I see someone being put down, I'll just be like, you can't do that, la 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 la. Like, how dare you do this to this person? Just forever doing something that's nothing to do with me, just standing out or speaking for someone. Well, obviously now I know I'm older, but that's what I was doing. I knew every single person in that school and every teacher knew who I was, loud and just different hijab colors, blue, green, yellow. It's just out there. I think one of the most interesting characters in the entire school, for me, a 70 at 11. Shocked that I got GCSEs, but I've managed.
How was your college experience and what did you study?
I've studied journalism, I've studied media, sociology and IT. Again, my personality just went to college, nothing has changed. I knew every single person in that college. If you're from my college, hi. It was sixth form, so it was fun. I was the one standing in the corner dancing to, there was a song called Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes. Ladies, that was me. I was just there dancing, organizing protest. There was an EMA, we used to get like extra money, and when the money is delayed, I would go to people's office. I'd be like, oh, this money is delayed. That means people are hungry. What are you trying to do? Like, I was always finding faults in systems and looking for consequences. So yeah, again, there was a lot of passion and a lot of dancing in sixth form.
You studied journalism at university.
Yeah.
What was that like?
With all of that dancing, shocking again that I got my A-levels, went to university, studied journalism, and it was kind of finding out whether I wanted to be a journalist or to work in a humanitarian field. So yeah, university experience was interesting, just finding myself more like.
Are you still in touch with any of your school teachers?
Yes, I still speak to my teachers. I just had dinner with one of my school teachers. Nothing has changed. Apparently 10 years later, I'm still the smiley, the loud one, and my teachers have inspired me to be who I am today. They believed in me, and when I do something, they still call me just to say, we told you, this is your destiny, use your energy for the greater good. Very passionate, strong black woman. I was very lucky.
You travelled to India as part of a voluntary programme.
Yep.
What was that experience like?
It was, I think, one of the biggest thing for me, because you know, you go to Amsterdam, you go to Paris, and you think you've traveled, and then you go to India and you're like, whoa, like this is different. And especially if it's like 4 months and you're like, oh my God, you know, I was working with girls and organizing events or trying to open up to them so we can advise them about sanitations and stuff like that. So it was breaking the conversation or starting a conversation about something. It's quite challenging, but I knew that this is what I want to do in the long run, you know, to speak to women, to communicate, to bring them together. And when I came back to the UK, that's the direction that I took. That's why I still do Coffee with Ladan, because it started from India. Like, I just continued. I'm like, you know, I'm just going to use this. I'll be 50 and I'll gather everyone. I'll be like, hey guys, what's popping? Like, what's happening? What can we do? So yeah, India was, I think, a confirmation for me that I want to work with women, and this is what I'm really good at.
You work for a voluntary organisation that supports young girls. What's your involvement?
I think I was doing fundraising and just working with different organizations since I was 17. I'm 26 at the moment, and right now is just learning and going to trainings constantly about women who are abused by their partners or ex-partners. Is domestic violence is one of the leading charities in the UK, and just to develop my knowledge about women. And I really wanted to understand from a real perspective and work with these organizations so I know what's happening. And in the future, when I become Dr. Ladan and I do my PhD, I can just also say, this is what I have been doing over the years, you know, as well as drinking coffee and tea with them and starting a conversation. I was also involved in organizations who deal with these problems. Then I understand from the policing perspective, from the lawyer's perspective, from the cause of the problem. So just to expand my knowledge and also bring a different voice to these organizations as well, because I have organic thing going on with the women that I work with. I feel like my voice is really relevant to them, and yeah, I hope I do that anyways.
What does politically correct mean to you, and why do you think your style is different?
That's a great question. I like to think I'm politically correct, but I'm not. Do you know, let me tell you this, like, I'm not politically correct sometimes because you know how we have social media guidelines that you have to follow. I get constant like warnings, like you're on your final warning, we're gonna take down your account. So that's why I do my gatherings. If my page goes left, find me please. that's the whole thing, you know. I do try to be politically correct, but when you are part of a conversation for change, it's almost impossible to be politically correct. I do try. What it means to me is to not to offend anybody, not to make it like, you know, racist comment or a sexist comment and stuff like that. But at the same time, there are issues that directly affect race or gender or sexuality. So I do say it. And yeah, some people are offended, I have to say, but it is what it is. It's a risk that I've decided to take, and I'm here for it.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would that be?
That's a good question. I to be honest, I've never thought of that. It would probably be, I would probably want it to be like a legacy thing, and what I'm doing can take me to that. So it'll probably be someone who made impact in the world. Like, my name will go down in history. You know, when you think of Somali women, you think of Wada Talks. Wada Talks, I don't know if you know her. Ladan will be up there. You know, I want to be like something that, you know, when parents are telling stories, that my name is gonna come up. Does that make sense? Yeah, it will be something like that. Hopefully, I would probably say someone who's fearless and not scared of like making a change, and made a massive change to the world that she's in a good way, hopefully. And in my journey, if that means I stumble a lot of people and I throw a lot of people under the bus, let that be. Yeah.
Is popularity less important than the message that you're trying to convey?
Oh my God, that question. That's like diamond. Well done for these questions, by the way. I love them so much. Popularity where? Let me tell you something. I've been doing what I've been doing for like years now, and only recently people are like, oh, that cow, No one cares. What I do is not for popularity. I really don't care about what you think. I don't care if you follow my page. I don't care if the whole page gets deleted, because I have everyone's number and I have their contact details, and we'll still go into that protest. So yeah, popularity is one of those things that can distract people as well. So yeah, I really don't care for that. And if I did care, then I would have taken different routes long time ago. It's just not that important, to be honest, because I don't really care about what you think or what another person thinks. As long as I'm coming out with solution to the problems, goodbye. Take your popularity. Eat it somewhere else, yeah.
How do you think we can change the narrative, the stereotype of Somali women in the media?
I like to think I'm part of it, because obviously there's this thing where they believe that every time we open our mouth, we're about to talk about struggle. Like, I don't know if you've experienced it as well. It's just, there's this situation that's been happening over the years as I grew older. It's like, oh, you're talking about FGM, which there's nothing wrong with. For those of you who don't know, female genital mutilation, there's always, a survival of something, domestic violence survivor. That has been played well in the name of being a Somali woman for the past few years in the media and books and everywhere. And there's me. It's like, and there are a lot of women as well who are doing incredible things. I think we can just do that by not accepting the stereotype or playing role to it. Do what it is that you're passionate about. If it means being outside of the box, then let that be. It's a risk, but do what you have to do. But it's quite difficult to do something different that they don't expect you to do, because you're just constantly saying, no, I am not a survivor, and I don't need you to save me. This is not charity, this is me. And I'm just talking about coffee, and I'm just talking about a coffee machine, can we just talk about that? And they ask you quickly, they're like, oh my God, so what do you do? It must be very hard for you. I'm like, hard where? I grew up in West London, my G, life is good here. There were some difficulties and stuff, but I don't have no story for you. I don't have a story for you for me to tell you that I have suffered, or you need to come and save me. There's nothing here. It's all good. Do you want to talk about the ideas I have? And yeah, so it's difficult. There are even TV shows or, opportunities that will come your way, which if I have played the typical stereotypical, then I would have been on TV, or I would quickly get the roles or whatever. But when I'm telling them, hey, accept me, for my personality and for my work, it's difficult, because then you don't fit into this image that they have of Somali women or black women. So it's complicated, but I like to think that I'm playing a role and opening the doors for other girls to be like, you know what, I'll be myself. If people don't like me, then let it be. I'm not gonna conform, is that a word? I hope it is, but yeah, to the stereotypical that is set for us. Because if I don't change it, who will? And the reason why I have started doing what I do is to change the narrative and the conversation, and so we're not put into a little box. You can think of beauticians, and you can think of doctors, and you can think of humanitarians. There should be options available, and I want to be that option available.
What are some of the projects that you're working on currently, and that you'd like to work on in the future?
I'm currently doing International Women's Day event yearly. It's an annual event. Next year will be the 5th year, and I'm super excited about that. I see myself doing that for 50 years, inshallah, if I'm still alive, or in the next 20 years. It was beautiful, it's is organized by women of color, and it is for women of color. So I see myself making that bigger in different countries, and just doing other projects where I work with women to influence, do like collaboration with other people as well. But I would just say, like, do what I'm doing already, because I love it. It's so fun, and definitely do what I'm doing right now, but continue in a larger scale.
Are there any key messages that you would like to convey to the audience? Any women, young girls, just a few words of what are the key in terms of following your dream?
Yeah, do you know what my mom, Hoyo, I love you. If you're watching, my mom said that you could be a talented person, but if you don't have the right attitude, you would never go far in life. And that was like, I think I was like 13 when she said that, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, celebrities make money, like, Hoyo, just chill, yeah? She was like, no, like, if you don't have the right attitude, you could be talented, she said, like, but it would always go down the drain, because your attitude, the people that work with you, how you are, everything influences you in the long run. So I would definitely say have the right attitude in life, and be grateful and respect everybody equally. So the way you treat the CEO is the same way that you treat the cleaner. That helped me a lot, because I don't treat people different. Like, that goes with my principle in life. Everybody gets the same treatment, and it makes people on top feel uncomfortable sometimes, because I treat the cleaner the same, the CEO the same. So I would say treat everybody kind and respect with however you possibly can. And obviously, if it means one day you have to draw a line, do draw a line, stand up for yourself. But attitude and making sure that, you know, people that work with you don't say like, oh my God, I don't want to work with this person. You know, like if someone was making tea for you and they're like, oh my God, I don't like making tea for her. Or if someone is taking your pictures, like, oh, I can't stand her. Like, that is really, really good. You might be doing the best pictures, you might be the best looking girl, but people don't want to work with you, and it's not good in the long run. So I'd say the right attitude, be kind and respectful. That helps me in life, because I treat everyone the same. Like, that would be my advice.
Ladan, thank you so much for this amazing interview. You are such an inspiring woman. I can see a bright future ahead for you.
Tell Michelle Obama to call me. Tell Michelle Obama to call me.
It's been such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much, and I look forward to watching your future blossom.
I appreciate you. See you soon.